So here we have it, the brand new FPV drone that has just been released by DJI. Now this is one of two FPV drones that DJI currently have. They have the FPV drone, the original one, and this Avata. The Avata is aimed more towards those beginners and towards those that want to get into FPV flying. You can also fly this as a normal drone if you want to do that. And today we're gonna do a quick unboxing of this combo which I have here, which is the Pro View combo that comes with the brand new goggles. So without further ado, let's just dig into the box here and let's take a look at the Avata. Now getting any of these combos, we can see that it's split into two separate boxes. One with the Avata and one with the goggles 2 or the version 2 and the motion controller. All depends on what type of combo you get, the Pro View combo or the Fly Smart combo. It will be split into just like this. Let's dig into the main box first, which has the Avata. Now opening the box here, we get straight to the DJI Avata. And taking this aside, we can find a single charging hub, the charging cables, 2 spare propellers, and a few screws along with an Allen key. What's really awesome with this new charging hub though is that you can actually charge your battery via USB-C. This means you're not limited to the typical wall or car charger. You can easily charge this from a power bank, which I will come back to later in this video. And taking the Avata out of the box for the very first time, I must say it feels good. It still has that plastic feel like the Mini 3 Pro, but it feels good. It's light and compact and has a 1/17" CMOS sensor and a fixed aperture of f2.8, so it's definitely gonna give you some good looking images. And it can also record in 4K 60 and 2.7K up to 100 FPS with the brand new goggles. With the goggles version 2, you can record up to 120 FPS in 2.7K. So there's a slight difference there from the new goggles and the older one. Now looking at the bottom of the drone, we have 2 downwards facing sensors and the screws which holds the prop guards in place. On the back of the drone is where we place and connect the battery, and the battery only weighs 162 grams compared to the 295 grams of the DJI FPV drone. And the size of the batteries are also smaller than the original FPV drone, so it's gonna be easier to stack multiple batteries for your trip. The Avata itself only weighs 410 grams, which is almost half the weight of the DJI FPV drone, which weighs 795 grams. The size difference though is better seen in the height, and a top-down comparison here shows the dimension of both with and without the propellers. And it's only when the propellers are mounted that we can see a bigger difference. This is though from the top-down shots, but if we take them side by side here, we can also see in the height the FPV drone is a lot higher and overall larger than the Avata. So there is a huge size difference, but in width there's not that much. But traveling with the Avata is going to be so much easier. Not having to detach the propellers makes everything faster, more convenient, and you won't risk damaging your propellers. Now moving over to the left bottom propeller guards on the Avata, here we can find the USB-C connection and the micro SD card slot. And the Avata only supports micro SD cards up to 256 gigabytes, which is still a little bit strange. It's the same that we saw in the Action 2. I wish it was higher, but I guess we have the additional 20 gigabyte of internal storage, which we can switch to in case we need to use that. Now finally we have another gimbal cover which is easy to remove and place, just like we had on the Mini 3 Pro. I just love how this snaps on and gets locked into place with a small tiny push. So I'm really happy about that we finally have something which is easy and fast and more convenient. Now, let's move over to the other box that we get with the Pro View combo. This is the box that contains the brand new goggles 2 and the motion controller. Now inside the box we have a pair of eyeglass frames, the included cables for connecting your goggles to the battery and your phone for future updates. We also have the headband strap and the battery for the goggles and the motion controller, which I will come back to later, and we finally see the goggles too, which I'm really excited to test out. Now if we take a closer look at the goggles, we immediately see that the size difference compared to the version 2 is extreme. These are so small compared to the older model, the version 2, and only has a weight of 290 grams compared to the 420 grams on the version 2 goggles. The goggles too also has foldable antennas, which is kinda cool. I'm not sure how convenient that will be in the long run though, and I'm not sure if it's possible to remove them at all. I tried twisting them a bit, but I just gave up because they were so tight and I didn't want to risk destroying the goggles straight out of the box. But on the bottom of the goggles, we have some brand new things which I'm really excited about. Here we have the brand new diopters, which is really helpful for us using glasses. Usually I put on my contact lenses every time I'm going out to fly the FPV drone, and if I forget, well, I basically can't fly. So this is a huge plus for me. I've already tested this out and it works great. It's perfect. I get crispy, good looking image. Well, at least here from the studio. I haven't taken it out yet, but we're gonna do that pretty soon. The diopters are also easy to adjust and lock. You just push them into the position that fits you, then twist the knob until you have a clear sight, and then push the knob in and twist clockwise and they will be locked in place. So this is definitely a huge plus for a lot of people, and I think a lot of people are gonna find this really helpful. And on the side of the goggles, we also have a brand new touchpad to navigate the menu inside the goggles. And this can also be locked for the convenience, so you don't risk messing around with the screen when you are flying. On the left side of the goggles, we have the micro SD card slot as well as a headphone jack. And on the right side, we have the power connection and the USB Type-C connection to connect the goggles to a phone for updates and for a live preview. Now let's move over to the last accessory, which I think you should get with this combo. And I think this is a must if you're getting the Avata or the DJI FPV drone. This is the Fly More kit. The Fly More kit is also cheaper to get than buying 2 batteries and the charging hub separately, which will drop you another $40 or so. I think it's $37 to be accurate. So it's actually going to be cheaper if you get the Fly More kit. Now, even though the Avata has 18 minutes of flight time on paper, it will only give you around 13 to 14 minutes of active flying, or less if you're really pushing it. So only having 1 battery won't be enough, so you will definitely have to invest in something more if you want to fly more than those 10 minutes. Now, what I really love about the updated charging system from DJI is that we can now charge without needing a car or a wall charger. Everything can be done from the USB Type-C connection. So you can charge your batteries using a power bank, your computer, and if your car has a USB-C outlet, you can just plug it in and charge. And you can even use your other drone batteries to charge the FPV batteries if you want to do that. Now, to be honest, I've saved the worst for last, or I mean the motion controller. It's a slick invention and really cool for the first few times you use it. I've been trying to sell mine for 9 months now. No one wants it, no one. And there's a reason why. Now, I don't want to go too much into details about the motion controller because I don't think it's worth my time or yours. But like I said, it's extremely fun the first few times, even for experienced FPV pilots. For beginners or people just starting out for the first time, it might last a little bit longer. But the problem is that you're limited. You're limited to normal and sports mode, and that's it. Even with the FPV controller, you feel like you have more freedom in normal and sports mode over the motion controller. So my biggest recommendation is to download any FPV simulator and plug in your Xbox or PlayStation controller if you don't have any FPV controllers laying around. Start practicing in manual mode. It will be much more accurate than the DJI FPV simulator, and you will have much more fun when trying the Avata in full manual mode for the first time. You also have to remember that the Avata has a fail-safe feature and a panic button, just in case you need to cool off a bit after flying in manual mode for the first time. It's not really that hard, you just have to be gentle. So practicing in the simulators for about 10 hours, 20 hours, something like that is definitely helping you out a lot. I will have my top 2 recommended FPV simulators down in the description below. These are the simulators that I use now on a daily basis, just to get an hour or 30 minutes in there to have, practice and get used to the controllers and kind of memorize everything. So it's really helpful if you want to start flying manual mode and if you really want to push it a little bit more than that sports mode. So, straight out of the box, what is my first impression? The goggles too looks really nice and they're more comfy than the older model, the version 2, and it fits my face much better. But I still prefer the look though and the option to change the antennas on the goggles version 2. And since I have 4 omnidirectional antennas on it from True RC, I also think the overall feed will be better. Maybe not as clear though, but better and more reliable. We will soon find out. I still gotta test that, but that's my theory. It's 2 kilometers on the paper. How far is it gonna be? Is it gonna be 200 meters? Is it gonna be 5? I don't know. We'll still have to wait and see. So I'll come back with an updated video on that shortly. Now the Avata compared to the DJI FPV, the Avata is the clear winner. It's smaller, more portable, and looks better if you ask me. The prop guards is a plus, and with the horizon leveling, I can literally capture video that looks just like it's shot on a normal drone, but moves faster. I still have to test it more than a few minutes though before I give my complete review and comparison of these 2 FPV drones. For now, the Avata is the go-to for me, and I just love the overall feel of it. Might be because it's brand new, but the overall small form factor with the goggles, the drone, and easy to change parts makes it really good for beginners. It makes it the perfect beginner drone if you ask me. So I think that's gonna be everything for today, and I hope you enjoyed this unboxing of the ProView combo. I will be heading out to check the cinematic capabilities of this brand new Avata FPV drone. So until next time, take care and fly safe.